in the heart of the Pacific Northwest, where the Cascade Mountains cradle dense forests of cedar and pine for friends, Lila, Marcus, Emma, and Jake set out for a weekend camping trip in the Whispering Pines, a remote campground known for its untouched beauty and eerie legends. The group, college juniors seeking a break from had heard whispers of strange sightings in the area, fleeting shadows, unexplained footprints, and tales of a creature locals called the most dismissed it as folklore. But Lila, an anthropology major with a fascination for cryptids, was eager to explore the myth. They arrived at the campground on a crisp October afternoon, the sun dipping low, casting golden rays through the towering trees. The air smelled of pine needles and damp earth. Their campsite, a small clearing near a gurgling creek, felt like a sanctuary from the world. They pitched a tent, built a fire, and roasted marshmallows as the stars emerged, laughing off Lila's playful retelling of Bigfoot stories. 7 feet tall, covered in matted fur, with eyes that glow like embers, she said, her voice theatrical. They say it watches from the shadows, silent until it wants to be heard. Jake, the skeptic, rolled his eyes. It's just bears, Lila. Or some hermit messing with hikers. You don't really believe this stuff, do you? Lila grinned. Maybe. But don't you feel it? This place, alive, like it's watching us. Emma shivered, pulling her jacket tighter. Stop it, Lila. You're freaking me out. Marcus, ever the peacemaker, strummed his guitar to lighten the mood. Let's just enjoy the fire. No monsters here, just us and the stars. But as night deepened, the forest seemed to close in. The cheerful crackle of the fire couldn't mask the stillness. No crickets, no owls, just an oppressive silence that made their laughter feel hollow. Around midnight, they crawled into their tents, Lila and Emma in one, Marcus and Jake in the other. The plan was to hike to a nearby ridge at dawn to catch the sunrise. Lila woke hours later, heart pounding. She glanced at her phone. 3:17 a.m. was asleep, her breathing steady, but something had jolted Lila awake. A sound, low and guttural, like a distant growl, reverberated through the trees. She held her breath, listening. There it was again, closer this time, accompanied by the snap of a branch. She unzipped the tent flap an inch and peered out. The fire had died too, embers casting faint light on the clearing. Beyond, the forest was a wall of black. Then she saw it, a shadow, impossibly tall, moving between the trees. It wasn't a better upright, too deliberate. Her mouth went dry. She nudged Emma, whispering, "Wake up. Something's out there." Emma stirred, groggy. "What? Probably just a deer." "No," Lila hissed. "It's big, really big." Before Emma could respond, a piercing scream cut through the night, not human, but animalistic, raw, echoing off the mountains. The girls froze. In the other tent, Marcus's voice called out, shaky, "You guys hear that?" Jake fumbled with a flashlight, its beam slicing through the darkness. "Stay calm," he said, though his voice trembled. "It's probably a cougar. They sound like that, right?" The group huddled in the clearing, flashlights darting over the trees. The air felt heavy, charged, like the moment before a storm. Then came a thud, rhythmic and slow, like heavy footsteps circling their camp. Lila's flashlight caught something, a massive footprint, easily 18 inches long, pressed deep into the soft earth near the creek. The toes were distinct, almost human, but far too large. "Oh my God," Emma whispered, clutching Lila's arm. "That's not a bear." Marcus gripped a hatchet from their gear, his knuckles white. "We need to stay together. No one runs off." The footsteps stopped. Silence pressed in again, thicker than before. Jake swung his flashlight wildly, illuminating nothing but trees. Then, from the darkness, a low moan rose, vibrating in their chests, followed by the sound of something heavy brushing against brush. A rancid smell, like wet fur and decay, wafted through the air. "We need to get to the car," Jake said, voice barely above a whisper. The parking lot was a half-mile hike down a narrow trail. They grabbed their packs, leaving the tents behind, and moved as a tight group, flashlights shaking in their hands. The trail was darker than they remembered, the canopy blocking the moonlight. Every rustle made them jump. Lila kept glancing back, certain she saw movement, a hulking shape darting between trees, always just out of sight. The group moved faster, stumbling over roots, their breaths ragged. The moan came again, closer, from their left. Emma stifled a sob. "Keep moving," Marcus urged, though his voice cracked. "Don't look back." Halfway to the car, they found the trail blocked. A massive pine had fallen across the path, its trunk too high to climb easily. Fresh claw marks gouged its bark, deep and jagged, as if something had torn it down deliberately. Lila's stomach dropped. "This wasn't here earlier," she said. Jake cursed under his breath. "We'll go around. Stay close." They veered into the underbrush, thorns snagging their clothes. The forest seemed to tighten around them, branches snapping behind them like a predator herding its prey. Then, a rock the size of a softball sailed past, crashing into a tree with a splintering crack. Another followed, narrowly missing Marcus's head. "It's throwing things," Emma cried, ducking. "Run," Jake shouted. They sprinted, branches whipping their faces. The car park now visible through the trees. The footsteps pursued, heavy and relentless, shaking the ground. Lila risked a glance back and saw it a towering figure, at least 8 feet tall, its silhouette blending with the shadows. Its eyes glinted red in her flashlight's beam, and for a moment, she locked gazes with it. Not animal, not human, something else. They reached the car, fumbling with keys. Jake yanked the driver's door open, and they piled in, slamming the locks. The engine roared to life, headlights flooding the trail. For a split second, the beams caught the creature fully. Matted dark fur, broad shoulders, a face obscured by shadow but unmistakably watching them. It stood motionless at the edge of the trees, then turned and melted into the forest as Jake floored the gas. They didn't speak until they reached the highway, the glow of streetlights banishing the darkness. Emma was crying softly, Marcus staring blankly out the window. Lila clutched the footprint photo she'd snapped on her phone, her hands still shaking. Jake gripped the wheel, his jaw tight. "We're never going back there," he said. Back in town, they reported the incident to the local ranger station, showing the photo and describing the encounter. The ranger, an older man with weathered hands, listened quietly, his expression unreadable. "You're not the first," he said finally. "Whispering Pines has always been different. Best to leave it alone." The friends returned to their lives, but the forest stayed with them. Lila couldn't stop researching, scouring forums for others who'd seen the Marcus stopped playing his guitar, saying music reminded him of that night. Emma avoided the outdoors entirely. Jake, ever the skeptic, tried to rationalize it, a prank, a bear, anything but what they'd seen. Yet at night, Lila would wake to the memory of those red eyes, the weight of that gaze. She'd check her phone, the footprint photo's still there, a reminder that some mysteries don't resolve. The Whispering Pines kept their secret, and the Skookum, whatever it was, remained in the shadows, watching, waiting for the next soul to wander too far into its domain.